So this is the program about pre-joining program, right? So before you join, we are enabling you with certain skills, which you will be able to go through them and be ready to join the organization. So how you are going to get an access to this? What is the process of logging into this particular portal is something which will be briefed in this particular session. So along with me, I have Suresh Balakrishna, who is the architect of this particular PBL app, and he's going to take you through this entire presentation about how you need to get onto this particular application. So you don't have to make any notes of these particular informations, what is going to be told to you right now, because we are going to send you the entire guidelines through an email. So whatever is being presented right now is going to be sent to you as an attachment, so you can go through them. So right now, please concentrate on what is being told. And if you have any questions, you can put it on a chat window. At the end of the presentation, we will take up your questions. So please note that at the same time, as we are presenting it, your IDs are not being enabled for this particular PBL application, or your PJP program has not been enabled. So please do not try it simultaneously. So your access will be enabled and the mails will be sent across. Probably within next 24 hours, your access will be provided. So post which you will be able to log into your application. And also note, I do understand that many of you have a connect with the other friends who have joined this particular call. But however, if you have not received this particular invite, I would request you not to join this particular session. This session is exclusively given only to the candidates who are being called. OK, if you are being part of internship program, or if you have been part of the velocity program, you don't have to be continuing this particular presentation. So this is meant only for people who are going to go through the PJP learning, and whoever has got the invite from us. OK, so with this, I hand over the baton to Mr. Suresh Balakrishna to take you through the PBL app guidelines. So over to you, Suresh.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Hope I'm audible and clear.
You're audible loud and clear, and your presentation is well viewed. Thank you.
OK, so good afternoon, everyone. Suresh here. As Robert has pointed out, for the next 30 minutes, I will take you through the entire journey of the portal. What are the elements that are available, how you need to access our portal, and the other related informations. So before I start, as Robert has already pointed out, your access to this portal is not yet enabled. When it will be enabled, when you can start using it, I'll let you know by the end of this presentation. So for time now, please pay your attention to all the points that we will be discussing right now. Have a clear understanding so that helps you in your smooth learning journey with us. So what are the points that we are going to discuss today is being projected to you on the screen. You will come to know about the portal which you'll be giving access. So what is the process of your registration, and then how do you log in into the portal? Then what are the different learning elements that will be available to you on the portal? All those things is what we'll be discussing right now. So the first step of accessing this portal, before I start, let me tell you very clearly, now you are being part of a program called pre-joining program. This program is going to help you equip yourself into various learning that will help you to sail through a smooth process in getting into the projects. Right, so this fundamental learning will help you to set the base in a proper fashion. Now, what is the first step you're going to do is the entire learning for you is going to happen on our portal, and our portal is what we call as PBL app. Here your learning is going to be completely different, not the regular one that you do in your college days. Here more emphasis will be given on the hands-on related activities, which we will discuss shortly. Now, the first point which you need to understand is what is the URL of our PBL app and what is the step that is required from your side to get into the portal. So that's where two process comes into place. One is the self registration and followed by your regular login process. Now, what is the URL which you're going to use is given on the screen, talentnext.wipro.com/PBLApp. This link, this URL, along with the usage guide will be shared to you on the email. So ensure that you use the correct URL, not just going with Google or search for any other URLs. Now, this is the URL. Now in your browser, when you are going to open this URL for the very first time, right? So you are going to access this URL for the very first time. You need to get authenticated. You should be given permission to use our URL. So that is what is the first step that you're going to do. So the moment you click on this URL, you will be automatically diverted into the screen which you are seeing right now. So that is a sign in with your existing account message, right? Now you are coming for the first time. What you need to do? You need to do a self registration. So where do you go and do the self registration? At the bottom of the sign in button, you have a message. You don't have an account to sign up now. So you have to click on the sign up now link. So that is will take you to your self registration process, which is a very simple process, but certain elements you should be very careful. Now, the moment when you click on the sign up now, it opens up your self registration page. In the self registration page, one of the most important element here is the first text box, which is asking you for your email ID. Now, which email ID I should provide here? You should be very, very careful. All of you have done your superset registration, right? So in the superset, you have given two email IDs. The first email ID is called the primary email ID, and the second one is called the alternate email ID. The second email ID, the alternate email ID, is also called as your personal email ID. You have to use that personal email ID to self-register. I repeat, in the superset, your second email ID, which you are given as alternate, which is your personal email ID. That email ID has to be used here for self-registration. Only then your account on PBL will get activated. So provide the same email ID. The moment you give the email ID, click on the send verification code button. Immediately you'll get a 6-digit OTP on your email and an extra text box will be appearing here. Provide the 6-digit OTP. Now set your own password. OK, so set your own password, provide the display name, given name, surname, all those informations. All right, so all this given name, display name can be same. Once all these informations are given, you just click on the create button. So since all the informations are clear, your registration will be successful. Once that is done, for the next activity, you can directly go for the sign in, not sign up. Sign up is a one-time activity. Your self-registration is a one-time activity, and for the other subsequent, you will straight away go with sign in, where you need to provide your the same registered email ID and the password that you have created. Now, once you are being authenticated, once you are being approved to use our URL, you land up into the main page of our PBL portal, which is shown on your screen. So the first page, self sign-in registration, that happens only for the first time. Then every time in your browser, every day when you open the URL, you straight away come to this particular page, right? Because you have been authorized. Now, as an every time login, what you're supposed to do, click on the login button, the green button on top of your screen. So once you click on the login button, you will be asked for entering your email ID and password. So provide the same email ID, provide your password, you get a OTP, get the OTP, re-enter it, and that starts your regular process. Right? So you have to give your email ID, you have to give the password which you have created. Immediately the next step, it will ask you to click on send verification code. Do that, you get a OTP, provide the OTP, and once that is done, you'll get a message. Your email ID is verified. So this is the first step of your login. Okay, this all happens within 30 to 40 seconds. Now, once your email ID is verified, you get a welcome message. Right? So you get a welcome message with the same name, what you're given as your display name. That shows your first step of authentication is completed. Right. Now, what you are going to do here on the welcome screen is it is asking you to enter your PBLApp ID to proceed. Right. So enter your PBLApp ID to proceed. So what's my PBLApp ID? So the second important point here is going forward, your PBLApp ID is your superset ID. Right? I repeat, your PBLApp ID is your superset ID. So provide your superset ID over here. Click on the checkbox and then click on the proceed button. If your things are fine, you have given the right superset ID, you have given the correct email ID, that is your personal email ID, your alternate email ID, then you successfully get into the portal. There are chances where you do some mistakes, and if that is the case, you get some different kind of error messages. As you see on the screen, the first message says invalid PBLApp ID. If you're getting this message, it clearly shows that you have given a wrong PBLApp ID, that is your superset ID you have given wrongly. The second message is more important. The message that you see on the center of the screen, account not found or invalid in PBL app. What does it mean? It clearly indicates that you have done a self-registration and login using a different email ID than what is given on the record. If that is the case, your account will not be activated. You need to re-register with the same personal email ID. The last screen showing as session expired. What does it mean is at times you may have a network disconnect or you are taking long time, that is beyond 45 seconds to give all these inputs. Then your session gets expired and you get a message session expired. In that case, nothing to worry about it. Check your internet connection. If required, reconnect your connection. Then click on the re-login button, do a fresh login to continue further. So this is what is the step that is required from your side to do the self-registration as well as to do the regular login process. So 2 points, I repeat, you should be very careful. One is the email ID that you're going to register. It should be the same, your personal ID, which is given in the alternate email ID on your superset portal. Second thing, your PBLApp ID is same as your superset ID. These are the two very critical points which you should not do any mistakes. Right now, you're successfully logged in. You're going to start your learning. Now, what are the elements that are available for your learning? We divide into two segments. One is your foundation learning, followed by your core learning. Available in foundation, what is available in core, we will discuss right now. But before you start the foundation or core learning, there is one more vital learning which you need to do. That is on the awareness of information security. So the moment you successfully log in, you get into this pop-up asking you to click on the proceed button to take up a information security awareness course. It's a very simple course of 3 videos. Get into that course, understand those 3 videos, which is very much important. Once you watch those 3 videos, there is a quiz button. Click on the quiz button, take a simple quiz of 8 questions, get it done. Then you can proceed for further learning. So the first step of your learning is the information security awareness course. This is a course, the 3 videos, take it up, post which click on the quiz button and take up the quiz. Once this is done, then you can go back to the basic parts. There is something called foundation and core learning. Now, what is foundation? As the name suggests, these are the foundation courses. So when you go to the PJP Foundation, there you can see 3 headings. One is the foundation courses. All right. And what is there in the foundation? We have identified 4 segments for you, like operating system fundamentals, OOPS, database fundamentals, and web programming. These are the 4 parts which anybody who comes to the IT world should be aware of. So these 4 foundation courses will help you to understand that much better. If you already have a knowledge, this can help you as a recap. Yes, you can learn from fresh. So that's the first point on your PJP foundation. Right. So apart from the PJP in the foundation part, apart from the 4 courses, all these 4 courses are video based. Very simple. You can just watch and complete it. Apart from this, you have another segment called IT trends that talks about some niche skills or the emerging technologies like say artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, robotics, bot, all these kind of things will be having on this IT trend channel. So you can complete the foundation, you can go to the IT trends, complete that also. All right. So these 2 are not actually mandatory. Whenever required, you can go through all these things. And there are some motivational videos also available under the motivation section. So these are parts of your foundation courses. All right. So there are 4 foundation programs and there are some higher end introductory level courses also. Once this is there in the foundation part, your actual technical learning is going to happen on something called PJP core. So core is nothing but the actual technological stream which you are going to get trained. So you can go to the PJP core either from the menu from the foundation course or from the main menu, which is outside. Once you are inside the core part, which is very much essential. Now, what is the core technology which I'm going to learn? Is everybody going to get a same technology? No. We call it as a technology stream in our terms. So each of you will be assigned to different technologies. A group of people will be on a technology, a particular technology, and another group will be on another technology. This is purely based on our business and project requirement, which you're going to join later. So accordingly, the technical streams are assigned to you. How do I know which stream is been assigned to me? This is the main page of your PJP core. On this screen, on the top of the screen center, you have a message called a stream that tells you what stream is being assigned to you. So for the purpose of the demo, what I'm showing you is the content from Java J2EE stream. Having said that, whatever stream you belong to, it may be Java, .NET, Python, testing, or any other streams. Whatever streams you have been assigned, the way you're going to learn on this portal, the elements that are available on this portal going to be remain same. So you can just understand what are things which are available, and according to the stream which has been assigned to you, you will get the corresponding content. Right now, what are things available here? What you're going to do before explaining that part, the first and foremost thing is what is the approach of learning that you're going to do here. It is called project-based learning. So the framework which we are going to follow is called project-based learning, which means we are going to emphasize more on hands-on related activity rather than just going with the theoretical knowledge. So you're going to do more number of projects hands-on that will help you to understand things much better. Fine. Now what is available? What is that you need to understand and look into is on the left side of your screen, you have the menu navigation. There you can see certain elements which is given on the general section getting started, and then you have something called the tech modules and capsules. So we are going to use a term going further called tech module and capsule. So how do I differentiate? The ones that you see on gray color on the left side navigations, those things are called as capsule, and the one which is given in blue color are called as modules. So what is the difference? We'll see that. The major part is on the blue ones, the modules. Modules are nothing but a group of topics which is combined together to form one set called a module. For example, on your screen, say what you're seeing, Java fundamental is a module, OOPS or inheritance is another module. The gray ones are capsule. I'll come to that little later. Now what happens if I open any of the module? So for example, I'm clicking the Java fundamental module, right? According to your stream, whether you belong to Java, .NET, the number of modules will differ, ranging from 12 to 15 or 16 modules. But however, all the modules is going to follow the same approach. What is the approach? Now, when I open the first module, say Java fundamental, each module opens up with 4 parts. As you see on the screen, every module starts by a mini project. Then you have topics to learn. The third is your learning outcome, and the fourth one is your sample questions. So every module starts by a project. Now how your learning is going to happen here? First, you need to open the first section called mini project. According to the module, 1 or 2 projects will be assigned. So what you need to do? You first open the particular project. It opens up as a PDF file. Now, are you going to do the project immediately? No. First, you need to understand what is this project? What is the requirement? What you're supposed to do on the project? It's a mini task, right? So first you understand what is the requirement. Now, to do that particular thing, you need to learn certain areas, which is given in the topics covered. So where do I go and learn? Now you click on the second tab called topics to learn. Now once you go to topics to learn, you will have all the assigned topics. So for this module, there are 4 topics. So 4 topics will be displayed. Under each topic, you will be having a set of learning material as well as hands-on assignments. So each module you have, for each topic, you have multiple ways of learning. So the learning assignments are given in different formats. It can be in the form of a PDF file, external websites, third-party websites, YouTube and other video links, right? So this is a combination. Whichever one you feel comfortable to you, which you are okay, you go ahead and start your learning. So some are given as a suggestive, some are given as mandatory. You can take up for the same topic. There are multiple ways of learning. So go ahead and complete your learning. Once the learning is completed, come down. There will be a set of hands-on assignments. So 4 or 5 small programs as assignments will be provided. You have to complete these hands-on assignments. Where do you complete this assignment? It's completely on your local system. You should have the required environment. There'll be a guide which says the environment setup. So have the softwares accordingly, or if recommended, you can go with an online IDEs. Do the assignments, save it off, right? Which you need to upload later. I'll come to that point. Now, once your assignment is completed, you have uploaded. Against every exercise, there will be a checkbox. So you have to click on that checkbox. And on the top, there is a button called Update Completion Status. You have to do that, which will get reflections on the dashboard and reporting. Now, this is the same practice which you are going to do for all the topics. Now, what next? I have learned all the topics. I have done the hands-on, which means I have learned all the things necessary to complete the project. So now it's time to go back to the same project which I opened up earlier. Since you have learned all the things, what you can do, you can straight away start working on the project, complete it. So that's how your learning journey will happen between the mini project section and the topics to learn section. Apart from these two sections, the other two, one is the learning outcome and the other one is the sample questions. So that will help you to set the expectations from the module. The sample questions is one place which will help you to do a recap kind of activity. So if you're able to answer the questions given, well and good, you are good to go on a module. Else, go back and do a relearn. So this is the same process which you need to follow across all the blue ones, which is called a tech module. It is mandatory to complete all the modules. Wherever projects are being given, you have to complete. Wherever exercises are being given, you need to complete. So this is the same pattern to be followed for any stream and any module. So that's the first important segment which you need to do. Now I'm going to the next segment, which is another very important thing. More important for an IT guy. It's not about just writing program, getting an output, which normally we used to do on the college days. Here, the emphasis is given more on the quality of the code and the way the code is written, the way the code is performing. So to achieve that, how do you make it out? You need to have a good problem solving and logic building techniques available to you. To help you understand that much better, there is a set of guides which is given in the form of a capsule called logic capsules. You have various guides which will help you to understand how to build better logic, how to crack a code, how to go step-by-step approach on logic building on various format of programs. So all these guides are going to help you a lot in understanding the problem solving techniques much better. Not only this, there are quite a lot of sample exercise being provided to you on various capsules here. There are close to 50 plus programs ranging from easy, medium to difficult. So you can practice all these links. What is a format to follow is already been provided on the guides. You can look into that. There is an environment called metal, which is what you will be using here. Right. So you can follow the guide you can open these links. You cannot directly click on these links. You have to follow the process. Either you can copy paste these links into a new browser tab or just drag and drop. Right. So if you're able to practice all these code on that platform, which will test your code automatically against a set of given test cases, you are no, you can say that you'll be very much improved on the logic building part. So this is the second segment of activity which you'll be doing apart from the core learning. So you have your foundation learning, you have your core learning, you have your logic building activity. What next? So you are going to do a lot of hands-on assignments on every modules, as well as you are going to do the mini project. Now, once you are done with those things, how you are going to send your completed code and assignments to us for our team, for our SMEs to do a review on your submissions. There comes another automated tool called Code Completion Tracker. Shortly we call it as CC Tracker. That is the place where you are going to upload your completed assignments and projects. The link to this CC Tracker is available to you on PBLApp main page. So you have two links. One is the CC Tracker link and the other one is the CC Tracker usage guide, which will help you to understand things much better and a step-by-step approach. Now here you need to log in again. So the moment you open the CC Tracker, it asks you to enter your username and password. Here just enter your superset ID as your username and password. So for CC Tracker, your superset ID becomes your username and password. So once you enter into the CC Tracker, based on the stream that is being assigned to you, you will get all the modules accordingly listed on the CC Tracker also. There'll be two sections. One is project and the other one will be an exercise. Now, the instructions to upload are given on the screen. Follow those instructions properly. You can upload only two format of files. One is a normal text file, a plain text file, or a zip file. Nothing beyond that is permitted. If you are going to upload a zip file, please make sure that the zip file is very clean. It contains only the source code. No libraries, exes, DLL, jar files are allowed. It will be rejected. And a single zip file cannot exceed more than 2 MB of size. So you have to follow all these instructions. Now, how do I upload? You need to select two things. One, for which module you're going to upload, select the radio button, the button against that particular number module. Right. So if I'm going to upload for OOPS, select the TM02. Once that is done, you come down. There is another selection which asks you whether you're going to upload a project or an exercise. So select accordingly. Then choose your file from your system to upload. Once you click on the upload zip file, your file will be checked against any macro, malicious code and other things. If everything is fine, your file gets uploaded successfully. You'll get a confirmation message. A green color tab will come to you confirming that your file is successfully uploaded. If there is anything going wrong, you get a red color warning message with the appropriate messages. You correct it and re-upload. Now, once you upload your code, it will not get reflected on the screen immediately against the module. It needs a background review and check. Once that is done, probably on the next login, you'll get that submission against that particular module. So against every module, you can see in a round the number of uploads done and what is the file that is uploaded. The recent file will be on the top. So this is how you need to complete your upload of your submissions. Either it is a hands-on assignment or it's the project. So this will be reviewed and tracked for your submission completion. Is that clear? Right. Now, once you complete every exercise and the projects, that tracks your 100% completion over here. Now, before I move further, one common question which can occur here would be what happens if I uploaded something wrong and I need to re-upload. No issues. You don't have an option to delete and upload, right? However, you can upload again. So the recent file which you upload will be taken up for consideration. Is that clear? Right. So this is how you need to upload your submissions. Now what next? There's another segment. Now you know how to learn. Now you understood how do you complete your assignments, projects, and then where you will upload those things. Now the next important point would be you are going to do this learning remotely online from your place. Now what happens if I have a doubt, if I have a query, right? The technical query either on the learning part or the assignments or projects, how do I get support? Right. So we are there to support you. There comes the next segment called discussion board. So there's something called a discussion forum available to you. The link to the discussion forum is also available on the main page of your PBL app. The moment you open the discussion forum, it asks for your authentication. The instructions are given on the screen. Follow these instructions and get logged in to the discussion board. Now, once you log into the discussion board, again based on your stream, the number of forums will be available to you. So if you are belonging to Java, you have the same Java forums listed on this forum. Now what you need to do? You have to post your query accordingly to the respective forum. Say for example, you have a query on say abstraction or packages. You have to go to that particular forum called abstraction and packages, and you have an option to post your queries over there. So post your query. You can also have a screenshot applied. Now what happens once you post a query? There are two ways of support that you'll get. One, your colleagues, your friends also will be part of this group. And if somebody knows the reply for your query, they can also provide that support reply, and that helps you into some segment called collaborative learning. If not, our team, our SME will be there who can address your queries, by which either way you get the required support. So this is what you will be doing with the discussion forum. So before I move on, I would like to emphasize that this discussion forum will be purely for your technical learning related to PBL app. Only those queries will be taken up and answered. So you please post your queries on the appropriate forum. Now the last segment which you want to understand is the dashboard. The dashboard is available to you on the main page of your PBL app. On the top, there is something called My Dashboard. You can go to the My Dashboard. That will help you understand your submissions and tracking and how many percentage you have completed against every topic and every module. So that will help you to understand where you stand. Right, so that's a part of your dashboard. So these are all the things which is available to you in the form of the PBL portal. So you'll be completing all these activities as we have explained till now. Now, before I wind up, there are certain few very important instructions which you need to take it up. Point number one, from when you can start the access. So today is Wednesday. The next 2 days we'll take it up for your account activations. we'll be doing it batch by batch. So we'll do the activations ready in the next 40 tasks. So starting from Saturday morning, 9 AM, your access will be available to you. So you can start your access. Follow the right process, steps and procedures. The second point is the access to you is given only for your exclusive single usage. Do not share your credentials with anybody else. If there is a parallel activity going on, your account get locked. Point number 2, 3, even if you are use it only from one device at a time, no parallel device activity will be allowed. The last point, you should have a steady internet connection. You can access this page from any device, anytime 24/7, even from your browser on your mobile device. However, for hands-on, you need a desktop or a laptop. But ensure that you have a very good, steady internet bandwidth for a smooth process. Right? The last point, if you're not having a steady internet connections, or if you're going to keep the page idle without any usage for a long time, your session automatically expires. You get a message stating that your account is expired. Nothing to worry. Relog in fresh and can continue. So this is the entire walkthrough for you on the PBLApp portal, the various steps that you have to take it up into your learning journey. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation part. We can open up for some Q&A, and before you post your queries, we would like to emphasize that this presentation call is only with respect to the PJP and the PBLApp learning. So if any queries you have regarding these two items, you can post it on your Q&A sections. The other queries related to your internship or your BGV or other onboarding, this is not the right forum, so we will not be taking up such questions. So with this, I'll just come to the end of my presentation. Robert, over to you to take up the Q&A.
Thanks, Suresh. I think it was a detailed presentation about how to log in into the portal. So team, I believe there are many questions which have been asked, but I would prefer taking up the questions related to the presentation, what has been done with regard to the PJP program. All right, so I do see people asking questions with regard to when is my joining, and there's some issue with regard to your embark and all of that, which I believe it has been very clearly that you need to reach out to the manager.campus team. So they are the only people who have the answer for this particular question. So we'll take up only questions related to the PJP program. So I do have one question. I have never received the mail for velocity test or a program. I want to apply for it. Is it possible that I could apply now, as this is the first ever orientation session sent to me by Wipro? There's one question related to this. So let me answer this, because there are people who are being part of velocity and internship who have joined this call. However, in the beginning of the call, I have very clearly told you that this call is only meant for people who are going through the actual PJP program. If you're part of the velocity or internship program, you don't have to join this particular call, because we have already done this orientation and it will be a duplicate effort for me to explain this particular process again. However, coming back to the question what you've asked, so we are not going to send any such mail with regard to this velocity, but however, you can feel free to write a mail to the manager.campus team and they'll be able to respond back to you on this particular question. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of the question. Okay, somebody says that I got the access to the portal long ago, still I'm invited. So don't worry, if you've already got an access, just follow the path and complete the training. That's it. Okay. So ask questions related to the presentation, what was done, team. So that will be good for me to take up the questions. What if we have the same superset and personal ID, and if we are able to create a PBL ID? I didn't get this question. Are you trying to say same superset ID?
No, for a superset, if you're given both the primary and alternate as the same email ID, no issues, use the same.
Okay. Is there any deadline to finish this PJP learning? So team, there's going to be a 1 month time. So you please try to complete them. I do understand that some of you have college academic classes, like you might have project, Viva, or you might have to go to the college for semester exams and all of that. But give preference to your academic classes first, right? So please complete whatever is the formalities which you need to complete it as part of your college, post which you can complete the PJP learning, what has been given to you. Is it mandatory for me to complete it? Yes, if you complete it, it is good for you that when you're joining the organization, you're already set ready. And the rest of the courses what are going to be assigned to you, it becomes more easy for you to compete and complete those particular training programs. So that's the reason why we are trying to give you this particular program, which is PJP, which is pre-joining program. So the name itself tells you that before joining, you're getting ready for your actual projects. Somebody is asking, what is personal and primary mail ID is the same in the superset? Well, team, Suresh, I believe that we are going to enable the personal email ID.
Yeah, personal email ID. In the superset, you have two email IDs being provided. The first email ID is called the primary email ID, and the second one is the alternate email ID. Most of you might have given the primary ID is your college ID, and the alternate is your personal email ID. So we will be taking up the second one, that is the alternate email ID, which is your personal email ID.
Right. So team,
Some of you have said, yeah, some of you have told that both I've given the same email ID. If that is the case, nothing to worry. That ID will be taken up.
So somebody is trying to say that I have already tried logging in, but it is showing some error. So team, as Suresh has also informed, and I have informed right in the beginning of the session, that your access is still not provided. Please wait for 24 hours, and from tomorrow you will have an access to it, and you can actually log in. But still, if you find that there is some kind of error which you are trying to see it, it has also been explained to you why that error has been popped up. It could be three reasons. One is that you are logging in with the wrong superset ID or a wrong personal email ID, or you have been idle for more than how many minutes, Suresh?
20 minutes.
So you're idle for more than 20 minutes, then you get this kind of errors. So just follow that. Other than that, I don't think so that you will receive any such kind of errors.
Yeah, for the safer side, as we have already informed, your activation is going to happen in batches. So it will take 24 hours to 48 hours. So right from Saturday morning, 9 a.m., you are good to go with your login and access.
Right. So somebody has also asked, since due to the college classes, I was not able to attend the full session. Is there any way that I can get an access to it, to the recording? We have not recorded this particular session. However, we are going to send you the entire login information or the guide for you to access the PBL portal. So you can refer to it. It is very clearly explained. So you go through them and understand them. Okay. So do you have
Indicate.
not to the point what we need to discuss right now because of joining and rest of the details, which we will not take up at this point in time. So please note that you can write it to manager.campus team to get the response. So you also have the layer path where you can discuss on what. If it is related to the training, you can always put it onto the discussion board and the team will be able to respond back to you. If not, we also have the desk of PJP. The help desk email ID will also be provided to you. You can write it back to them and someone from my team will be able to respond back to you on this. All right. I think we have reached to the end of the session, team.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks, Suresh, for setting the context for our freshers. So good afternoon, team, and welcome to this orientation. Though I'm in the fag end, rather than saying bye, I'm just saying welcome. You would have gone through the complete mandate and lots of questions also have been taken, and I was just listening to those questions. Don't worry about your exams and all. You don't have to worry, just start learning. But as Robert has clearly said, please ensure that your college exams are given preference. So that is the prerequisite or mandatory for you to join Wipro. Hence, you take care of that. Now we will be sharing today. Suresh has given you a complete demo of how to go about it. The same thing that he has done in the demo will be shared as a user guide to you by end of the day. But only from tomorrow you will be enabled. So you can follow the same process. Two things to keep in mind. Do not ask your seniors because there are different versions of this user guide with different people. So you will not know which is the right one. In case you have not received, you can write to us. We will send it to you again. But do not take it from the internet because all those are wrong. And this is generally what we have seen that, you'll not be able to access and then you'll get frustrated that the portal is not opening. So we are sending the user guide, use that, open it, and then do learning. OK, so learning has to be within. As you all know, being your college, being in engineering colleges or degree colleges, you went to college only for, to meet friends, but otherwise actual knowledge, you all sat together and studied. So I know you have the capability to study on your own. However, we have discussion boards. If you're finding it tough, you can place the questions. My team will be there to support you. OK. So this is what I thought I'll just tell you. And yes, once you complete, we will have an self-evaluation assessment for you to understand which are the topics you have not understood so that, we can help you in making you understand those particular skills. OK, so evaluation is not like your college where you have a pass or fail. This is only an area of improvement from individual person. Is that clear? And it is not like your college one paper for everybody. So each of you will get different questions or different topics from the same subject. OK, all the best, team.
All right, so thank you, Nirmala. I think the team is well aware about how to log in into the PJP portal and get an access. So please hold on. I do understand that many of you are very enthusiastic and you have started logging into the portal and you're trying to get the error and you're giving that message to us as informed. It will take another 24 to 48 hours, so please wait for the instructions. The information will be provided to you. Please look at your emails and respond back accordingly. Secondly, there's one more question which people have been predominantly asking is whether you can change your stream which has been assigned to you. The response is no, you need to go by the stream which has been assigned to you because it is purely based on the business requirement. Your streams are being assigned. And once you get onto the projects, then you have a choice because you have been already exposed to a particular technology and you've completed with certain skills. Then you can go ahead and look for your aspirational skills, which you can acquire it from various other learning portals which are available, and then you can switch on to the respective domains. But at this point in time, please give preference to what has been asked, what is the requirement of the project, because you have been called based on the business requirement. So that's how you need to focus on. And I do understand that people have your self-interest, which will definitely be taken up at the long run. OK, So with this, I think most of your other questions, whatever you've been asked, has been given to you. I'm just going through the last few questions if there are any. Whether this PJP is going to help you in upgrading from Velocity or Turbo? No, this is not part of it. So you will have a call from manager.campus team. So you can ask these questions to that particular team, so they'll be able to help you out. Attendance is anyway captured here, so don't worry about it. So we're not going to take anything about it. So somebody is asking whether I'll be paid during this particular PJP learning. No, you will not be paid. This is just a learning which has been given to you so that you are being ready to join the organization. So there's no any stipend which has been paid during this particular program.
Tim, to get paid, you have to do some project. This is not a project, it is a learning. Instead of we asking you to pay us, neither we are asking you to pay us, nor we are paying you. So it's a learning, it's a portal.
Okay. So people who had accepted the internship offer, you continue with that internship itself. We do not have problem. People who have been asked to go through the Velocity, please go through the Velocity. All right, so you don't have to jump from there till here. So go through what has been assigned to you as part of your Velocity or internship program. So this is this particular program is especially given to those people who are not been involved in both of these particular programs, that is Velocity and internship. That's how it has been given. Duration has been asked again and again. We have been telling it to you that we give you 1 month's time. What if we are not able to complete it? We will extend it. OK, so complete. OK, so that's all what we have at this point in time. I think it was a good session for us to get connected for the last 1 hour. I believe that you have gotten a clear insight with regard to the PJP portal, and wish you all the very best and happy learning. Thank you very much, team. Now you can log off. Thank you, Suresh, for extending your time and explaining the team on various aspects of the PJP program. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all, and all the best. Happy learning.